Hey, what's up guys? Alex here from TechOnClass.com, and back in January we were able to try out a very early prototype version of the ZenFone 3 Zoom, which is a massively improved version of the original ZenFone Zoom from last year. Main device spec-wise, it is fundamentally similar to the ZenFone 3 standard. It's using the same memory, same processor, etc. But it improves on the display, cameras, and battery in a huge way. What that translates to is a much improved lens, sensor, and color detection capabilities. That, and of course, there's now two of them on the back. Yes, Asus is the latest brand to adopt the dual lens design, and while it may look a little like its competitors, they've managed to beat or even closely match the biggest brands in some way as well. First off, the new main sensor has a full dual pixel face detection autofocus sensor, a feat that only the Galaxy S7 so far has done. The iPhone 7 has a dual pixel AF sensor, but only around 7% of the pixels have it. And if you're not familiar with how fast the Galaxy S7 focuses with its full dual pixel face detection autofocus sensor, it is basically instant and never fails. If Asus can get even halfway close to what Samsung has done with its dual pixel AF system, then the ZenFone 3 Zoom will have one of the best AF systems in the entire smartphone world. As far as the main lens is concerned, it's also packing an f1.7 aperture lens with a sensor that has 1.44 micron pixels, which is the widest aperture for smartphones today and one of the biggest pixel size for smartphone cameras. Among other things, it's also implementing a color correction sensor next to the dual LED flash for even more accurate color representation. If this doesn't ring a bell, the color correction sensor was recently used by LG in the camera of the LG G4, which gave it some of the great color accuracy, among other things the Korean brand's camera was known for. Lastly, it'll even have raw image file support, a niche feature but great for photography buffs as it preserves much more detail and allows for further creative editing than your typical JPEG does. The ZenFone 3 Zoom is in every way an improvement over the original ZenFone 3 standard, except in main camera megapixels. The difference being the standard has 16 megapixels, while the Zoom has 12 megapixels on both sensors. We also, of course, get optical image stabilization, despite the fact that the lens doesn't protrude as hugely as the standard's lens. And we have an upgraded 13 megapixel selfie camera, which is 5 megapixel more than the standards. The 59 megapixel extra 2.3 times zoom sensor, though, is a different story. While it also packs a Sony-sourced IMX sensor, it isn't the same as the main one, which means we're looking at an f2.8 lens with an undisclosed sensor or even size. It is, though, similarly 12 megapixels. This may make the 2.3 times zoom shots fundamentally less impressive, especially in low light. But there's no doubt that the extra focal range won't come in useful in a lot of situations. 59mm is also a great portrait range, preferred by photographers because wider lenses will basically make you fatter, simply put. That and the focal range will naturally provide more blurry backgrounds to give us that preferred portrait look. The unit we're using in this video, as we've mentioned before, is a prototype and has unbaked software. That means all of the photos here are not representative of the final product. The selfie camera with its huge 13 megapixel resolution only outputs a green image, while both the main lens and zoomed in lens outputs pictures that definitely aren't of production quality. Asus has definitely mentioned that software will clean up all of these images, and we expect, based on the hardware, that they will look at least comparable to a Galaxy S7 or iPhone 7. We've experienced the same turnaround when we saw the pre-production shots of the original ZenFone 3 and the production version of the ZenFone 3 as well. So we expect the same optimizations will clean up these photos come launch. Amoled is also the new display technology of the ZenFone 3 Zoom. a popular display that competes with the IPS that was used on the ZenFone 3 standard. It is a more saturated display, though a little warm on the prototype. But its main advantage is that pixels can turn off completely, providing battery savings and of course the huge saturation and infinite contrast ratios that we love with this technology. Overall, some prefer IPS, but more people we know like Amoled, including yours truly. Asus is also including a new feature, an ambient display when the phone is on sleep that shows the clock and a few notification badges. A feature that no doubt takes advantage of the new AMOLED display and its ability to turn off individual pixels. Finally, they've beefed up the battery without it looking like it was, with its thickness not different to the original ZenFone 3, and the camera bump is even thinner. What this translates to is theoretically 66% more battery life compared to the original ZenFone 3 standard, a phone that already had battery life in spades because of the power-efficient 14nm Snapdragon 625. Combine it with a theme with a lot of black and you might even save more battery with the AMOLED display. When the software finally reaches maturity, the hardware can theoretically provide us with one of the best low-light shooters in the world of smartphones, with optics and sensors that match or even beat the best that Samsung, LG, or Apple can offer, provided we prioritize the use of its non-zoomed-in lens and its better optics and sensor, and provided Asus fully optimizes the software processing like it did on the ZenFone 3 standard. A future update is also planned to include a defocus bokeh mode that combines the outputs of the two sensors to create a composite with even blurrier backgrounds than usual. While we're not big on these essentially photo composite shots, some people might find that useful in certain cases. And that's about it for the ZenFone 3 Zoom. It's an amazing achievement, honestly. While it's not designed to wow with its processing package, the new optics brings Asus to the forefront of imaging technology for smartphones. An amazing feat, given they were just selling budget phones not too long ago. Will Asus be able to take advantage of this hardware, optimize its imaging software, and leap ahead of the biggest brands in this industry? Well, we'll find out when the ZenFone 3 Zoom launches maybe this month. And there you have it. Alex from technoclass.com here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.